TIBS, what have you been doing?
Oh,
Is that a present for Mummy?
thank you. Dear little one. Yes, clever, clever girl.
Oh, TIBS, what is that? Oh,
Aren't you just the sweetest little princess in the whole wide world? Yes, you are. Yes, you're just such a kind little cat, aren't you? Yes, and Mummy loves you an awful lot. You're such a good girl, aren't you? You keep giving Mummy all these lovely gifts. Mummy's special girl.
What have you done? Oh, TIBS.
These are all forested areas that are protected. In the areas with the orchards that have been bought and turned into grapevines, only a few of them are really super special. The ones that are really special are super coveted, and Pinot Noir being on the up and everything's moving forward, it becomes really, really hard to to secure contracts. It's like these are handshake deals that, you know, basically go back to the relationship, go back to our grandfather. So that's why they trusted us to be able to buy their fruits, because my grandfather, my father's hard work. Otherwise, I don't know if I'd be able to, you know, get this fruit. So. We're fortunate that we were born into a family that makes wine. We've been doing this for over 100 years now. And being young winemakers and drinking wine our whole lives, it's really a part of just what we do. My father was making the wines at Opus One for my family's interest when he was in his late 20s, early 30s. So there are young winemakers, but there's the opportunity, there's a movement happening right now where there are young winemakers. It's a huge commitment of time, of money, of energy, and it's a huge risk. And so it's very challenging to just say, hey, I'm gonna get into the wine business and just gonna go spend a ton of money not really knowing how it's all gonna turn out.
We have to do pretty much everything ourselves, so we're finding out it's a lot of work to do it right, but we both want to do it right.
So for young people that are our age, it's very challenging to step in and say, hey, I'm gonna start a winery. I'm gonna buy all the oak barrels, I'm gonna buy the land, I'm gonna farm it, I'm gonna make the wine, I'm gonna sit on the wine for a bunch of years, and then I'm gonna release it. Tasting the stems really quick to make sure to confirm kind of what we had tasted in the vineyard. So I can already smell the greenness of these stems. They're super green.
It's like half green, half brown.
Yeah, it's a new moon, so if you're gonna ever do whole cluster fermentations, this is the time to do it.
That's the exciting thing. We're learning as we go.
So you're getting a little bit of the stemmy, bitter flavors. Smell that, man. There's a movement now of a lot of people that are doing things like this. Some of the greatest Pinot Noirs in the world are 100% whole cluster fermentation. My whole life I was taught, not step on the grapes because you crack the seeds and you might cause some bitter flavors. But what we're doing is we're going back in time to how they made Pinot Noir. The monks made Pinot Noir in Burgundy, and we're foot stamping the clusters. I don't know, it's just fun for us to be doing that, and it's exciting. Wine is a product of its surrounding, of its environment. So it's the dirt, the trees, even the wildlife, everything. We wanted to be on the extreme Sonoma coast. My philosophy is that Pinot Noir, not everyone shares this philosophy, but I believe that Pinot Noirs do best in areas where it needs every single day possible to ripen before the rains come. We're within miles of the ocean, and what that does is it creates a real cool environment for the Pinot Noir where it literally struggles to ripen. The site's really present because it has so much time in the environment.
Being as close to the ocean, there's a big maritime influence, but they're also hillside. There are a few sites that I think are exceptional that are producing some of the best Pinot Noirs in the world.
Some of the best wines I think being made in the world of Pinot Noir are now happening on the extreme Sonoma coast. So it's exciting times there right now. Kind of one of our biggest goals with Raen is to have a wine that when you smell it, you smell where it comes from, the environment near the coast, that salted air, the moss on the trees, the forest floor, just the minerality of the site and everything that goes around with it. So we wanted to have a wine that had a true site to be proud of.
We're excited to begin to understand those sites and refine working vintage after vintage with the same locations and knowing the terroir.
For us, it's truly about the area of where the wine comes from. There's quite a bit of land in the world of wine, but the really, really exceptional vineyards are few and far between in many regards. Finding that spot and being able to make wine from it's kind of a true blessing. So this area imprints a certain vigor into the vine, a certain timing, if you will, and then also a certain energy and aura and flavor on the vines because you have different trees and different wildlife around it. My dad has a saying that vines, wines, and people have a lot in common. The good get better with time. But when a vine is young, it's very similar to a baby. It's running and jumping, and it can put out all the crop, and it's really good, but it might not have as much to say. As the vine gets older, and it might start to slow down and have a couple, bum knees or whatever. But once it gets there to the party, it has a lot more to say. Slower, lower yields, but typically the quality of the fruit's much higher. It's a very challenging approach. I mean, there's the estate model, which is 100% of these grapes come from this vineyard. And so the bottling of one of our vineyards will be 100% from that vineyard.
That'll kind of show the magic of that site or that terroir at that location. Some people would blend everything together, but we're going to keep each vineyard separate so we can kind of see what we really liked about that site.
The ultimate goal with Raen is not to grow into a big wine company, but is to really prove that we can make Pinot Noirs here in California on the extreme Sonoma coast at the highest level, to sit with the great Pinot Noirs of the world. That's more of my mission than to turn this into some, big business. Our goal is to make wines that are mind-blowing, that are absolutely delicious. With my family and our history, if something's not perfect, we basically have to scrap it. If it's not the best, then we'll put it aside. And so this is all in our perspective and our balance and what we think is world class. And
like the old saying, if you want to do it right, do it yourself. So we're kind of working at that.
It's fun to be able to make a wine that we are really excited about in a style that we really love.
People say that if you truly believe, if you live in your own dream, it's written on your face. Have you ever wondered how far your dreams are able to go?
On the very day I burned our farmhouse down, my father, Edward Coon I, told me that he hated me. He didn't put a tooth on it in any way, just told me quietly and for the last time that all the cruelty and misshapen ugliness of the world was summed up in my body. The massive dome in my head, my useless legs and piping voice, and most of all, the lack of shame and outrage in my heart. Then he told me he was going to kill me. Frankly, this wasn't news to either of us. Somehow we seemed to have always known that our relationship had been fated from the beginning to end in some swift settlement of accounts. Some bloody reckoning.
I'm going to shoot you stone dead. And what's more, I'm going to shoot you in the back.
It'll be a fair fight then. I've no weapons to hand.
I'm going to give you a fighting chance. You get a 50-yard start over open ground, and I'll only have one shot. If you make it, don't come back. In that unlikely event, here's £250. Help you make a start in the world. Invest it wisely. I'd recommend government bonds.
How about a headshot? You're always telling me my head's too big for my shoulders.
Only at 40 yards. Beyond the Hawthorn.
Okay.
Plus 90 quid.
That's down to £4 a yard. It started off as 5.
That's a law of diminishing returns. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. How do I know you'll only take one shot?
One's all I'll need. And besides, I only have one shell in the breech. If I have to reload, you'll have gained another 25 yards. At that distance, you'll be in the clear.
Say I take it in the lung, and now they're bleeding to death.
Then I will leave you lying there, and the crows will make short work of you.
What if I make a miraculous recovery? I'll wake up to find you've stolen my fortune. What then?
Whatever else I am, I'm not a thief.
You wouldn't try to profit from my death? Body like mine would have considerable freak value. You could go off to Latin America with a mistress.
This is a matter of principle, not profit.
You'd have a lot of explaining to do.
I'll tell everyone that you set fire to the house and took off in shame and fright. That you were depressed on account of your condition.
That's a dirty lie. Not once have I ever been depressed about what I am.
You haven't, but I have.
So, gonna wish me good luck or anything?
There's no point wasting fortune on a dead man.
Be on my way then.
Go on. I knew the moment I lifted the gun to my shoulder that I'd been hoodwinked. The little bastard kept me talking just long enough for the light to fade. Circumstances had changed. It was all over. My son and only child, Edward Conn II, was dead. Edward was neither dead nor seriously wounded. I saw straightway that his condition placed him outside the terms of our agreement. The danger now was that he might wake in a matter of hours and wander off into the world as an imbecile with neither wit nor memory, easy prey for thieves and malefactors. This was not what we had settled on. I wanted him either dead or alive, not queering up creation further as an idiot. As I gazed upon him, I saw how everything rank and misshapen in the world was summed up in this small bundle of flesh and bone. But beneath my disgust there welled also a deeper, more unspeakable feeling. It rose through me heart and leaked into me throat, swelling it and threatening to choke me. For the first time in my life, I recognized clearly where I'd seen this before.
You don't look like God. You're not forking stiffs and the furnace neither. What happened?
They creased your skull and you fell unconscious.
And you took pity on me?
No. I just honored the terms of our agreement. Have a drink. Welcome home, so to speak.
You know full well I'm a minor.
Suit yourself. I would have thought that any man that come within a hair's breadth of hell would want to celebrate his deliverance.
I'm in no mood for festivities. Need to get my head together.
We can't go on like this. People like you and me have no place in the world anymore, Edward. We'd be better off dead.
You speak for yourself.
That's what I'm doing. I'm lost, Edward. We're told that the world is getting smaller and smaller. The distances are narrowing down. But for people like us, it just gets bigger and bigger until we've dropped right through the meshes into the pit. We have no life anymore.
Was it ever any other way?
Yes, it was. There was a time when we had status and valuable skills. Some of us were real artisans, craftsmen, shoemakers and fullers and spinners of gold thread, diamond prospectors even. Did you know that our forebears trafficked in foundlings for depleted bloodlines? And to make ends meet, did about a cradle snatching. But that's all gone now. History has passed us by.
You're just full of self-pity.
Don't patronize me, Edward. I'm old enough to know the difference between pity and disgust. And while we're on the subject of disgust, why'd you set fire to the house?
I wanted to start new. I was hoping that whenever you came back, the whole thing would be destroyed. And we could go off together and make our own way in the world. I used to think that this house was our sanctuary, our refuge. But now I think it's our prison. I think it's about time we upped the roots and moved on.
Done what?
I was thinking in terms of adventure and destiny, taking each day as it comes, facing fortune head on.
It's a young man's game, Edward. I'm too old for optimism. Take it. Today it's your turn. Same terms, no arguments.
No, I can't.
Take the gun, Edward. Take it.
No.
This isn't an order, Edward. It's a request. I've hated you from the moment you entered the world. I've hated you even more because you're my son. I didn't think that the world would commit the same atrocity twice in the same place. But I was wrong. Not once in all these years have I ever asked you anything. But now I'm asking you for this one thing. Take the gun and be my son. Just this once and final time.
Is it what you really want?
It's what I really want. The Hawthorne, Edward. Same terms.
Dad!
Yes.
Run hard.
Well, there's one kind of favor I'll ask you. There's one kind of favor I'll ask you. Well, there's one kind of favor I'll ask you. Please see that my grave is kept clean. You can dig my grave with a bloody spade. You can dig my grave with a bloody spade. You can dig my grave with a bloody spade. Please see that my digger gets well paid.